Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel One Water. My name is Farshad, I'm the coordinator of One Water Institute. Today we have Professor Satinder Kaur Brar as the second guest of the Behind the Lab Bench program. Dr. Brar, thank you for accepting our offer today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you a lot for your time. So for the first question, could you please tell us about your background, what first inspired you to pursue the environmental engineering?
Yeah, that's a fairly good question.
From the beginning, yeah.
Yes. So, yes, I think my introduction to environmental engineering happened somewhere when I was finishing up my master's in organic chemistry.
Uh-huh.
So, as a chemist, especially as an synthetic organic chemist, our focus was more on synthetic chemistry, to produce different chemicals. But in that production route, there were a lot of solvents which were also being used for the production. And whenever I used to ask my mentor and my master's project supervisor what happens to these solvents, so they would say, we'll try to recover 80% of it and 20% goes down the drain. So, and then they don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to think as a chemist, again with my chemist hat on my head, that they are a mixture of solvents. So probably they interact with each other. Mm-hmm. Something happens when they go into the environment. So long story short, then chemistry was always my passion. So I had two routes available to me after finishing my master's in organic chemistry. Either I pursue an environmental engineering that was sort of coming closer to my heart, or do a PhD in chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose the path of doing a master's in environmental engineering. And this is how you can say my inclination towards environmental engineering happened for me.
Yeah, I can see that always a solution comes from this problem.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
that's true.
So moving forward, was there any specific moment, experience, or mentor that made you decide to focus on water and environmental sustainability?
Yes. So when I started pursuing my studies in environmental engineering at Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, my supervisor, PhD supervisor, Professor Gupta, he asked me, what kind of project would you like to work on? Would it be something which would be exploring a new idea in the lab? Or would it be something bench scale or pre-pilot scale? So I told him, naturally in a master's study, you can't do all three of them. It's
not fair.
Impossible.
Yeah.
So I told him if there is an ongoing project and if I could do pre-pilot scale studies, that would, I think, make me learn more.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I was fortunate enough because they were working a lot with the Bombay port for different kind of projects on pollution of water. And there's a lot of textile industries in those regions. So there are a lot of, chlorinated solvents that are being released into the water. So that was my first taste of, working with water polluted issues. And it was my first experience working with microorganisms in my life, which was fantastic.
Yeah. So I can see from your website that your lab's slogan is Advanced Value Addition for Environmental Restoration and Treatment, which is kind of very unique. Well, what does it mean to you personally, and how does it capture your vision?
See, what it means to me personally is that, our life is a cycle as humans. So this is in a metaphorical sense. I'm trying to make a connection. Likewise, for for the materials that we use to make our life, comfortable, they also go through a life cycle. So the idea here is that these materials, wherever they started from, they go through the cycle and they should be returned back into the environment if we, harvested them from the environment, but in a circular fashion. So that's why, having those wastes, which is considered waste by some industries or municipalities or even us as residents, is actually not a waste, but rather it's a resource for another product. So this was the entirety I could see in this circular approach, again, metaphorically connected to our life cycle. So
Yeah, exactly.
this is how I see the scope of this.
That's great. So moving forward to your research and impact of your research group. So your group is known for turning wastewater and residues to useful products like biofertilizers or even some biofuels. So what has been the most surprising or exciting success so far?
I think my most exciting success would be when I started my career. You're pretty young, and you're thinking, how will you
Make some changes.
make some changes or carry a project forward so that it becomes bigger and has an impact. So that's where I would say I had this good luck to be working with an industrial partner who really wanted to see if something good comes out of what we were doing as researchers in the lab could be then pursued at the industrial scale. So this project was interesting in a way that it was related to the apple juice production industry. It's a big industry in Quebec. And I did not know that 30% of the apple juice industry is a solid waste. I used to think, what kind of waste would an apple juice industry have until I visited the site. So they wanted us to do something with it in such a way that it should be recycled back into the industry. So for an in-house use in the industry. So then we came up with the idea, maybe we can collect these solid waste, grow some fungi on it, the microorganisms, and let them produce some enzymes. And these enzymes can be returned back into the plant for clarification of the juice. Because if you have seen the juices, they have two types. The one with the haze or cloudy juice, and the other one is a crystal clear juice. So for the crystal clear juice, normally they use ultrafiltration modules. And we, instead of using the ultrafiltration module, we use the enzymes to clarify the juice. So I think it was a win-win situation for the environment as well as for the industry, to get a product. So this is something I think which kickstarted my interest also in validation. And its value.
Yeah, I can see that you're working on the emerging pollutants like microplastic or PFAS, and which are kind of big challenges all around the board. What makes them so tricky, and how is your team tackling these issues?
I think the trickiest part with the emerging contaminants is their low concentrations. They are typically present in from micrograms to lower to even nanograms per liter. So you also, Farshad, as an engineer, do understand that if the concentration of a particular contaminant is low, putting something in contact with that low concentration contaminant so that it can undergo degradation is a mass transfer challenge. So then we have to come up, first of all, with an idea that how can we concentrate these contaminants, without affecting the integrity of the contaminant itself. So what we do is then we try to concentrate or absorb them on a matrix where they become concentrated, and then we devise different methods for them to be degraded.
That's perfect. If you had a magic wand to solve one water-related sustainability problem tomorrow, which one do you choose and why?
I think I would, after having traveled so far to many countries across the globe, my personal experience has been not the availability of the water, it's the access to water. So if I had the magic wand, I would really, because within the same country, you would see some places have, excess of water, and at other places there is no water. So it would be creating access to water.
That's a good one.
Clean water.
Yes, clean water. You mentored about maybe over 80 students and researchers so far. What's your approach to building such a successful and dynamic team? What is your strategy?
I think it's, I don't think I have any unique strategy. It's a teamwork. I always tell students, research is never standalone, one person's work. It's just teamwork. So if it's like gears moving in the engine, if all are moving together, the engine is properly oiled, everything works well. So likewise in a team, if the students who are actually the heart of the research group. If they are all working together in an integrated manner, then I think we move ahead together towards our goals in a very good way. So long story short, I tried to tell them that you are not, yes, you're a student and you're learning the process, but at the same time, you have to consider that you're a valuable team member.
Exactly.
And fortunately, each of them come from different backgrounds and different experiences. So I always tell them to, prune it more and even use it to solve each other's problems, because that helps you learn as well more.
Yeah,
Don't be just stuck on your project.
Yeah, that's correct.
Only.
Yeah. And I can see that your research has reached beyond the lab into global policy organization like EU and FAU. How do you see the connection between science and policy in creating real world impact?
I think science and policy, they go hand in hand, because what happens is science provides the evidence for the policies to be formulated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if there is no policy, then all the work that is done through science, in collecting that evidence doesn't mean anything, and then it doesn't benefit the society, which is the ultimate goal. So if there is a policy, there is action. So definitely policy is of utmost importance,
Plays a key role. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Can you just share a memorable story of working with the students, maybe a project that really stood out or made you proud?
Oh, good point.
Tough question.
Yes, almost all projects are good,
Yeah.
Okay, if I have to speak about a project that was on bioremediation of petroleum hydrocarbon spills on our abundant lands in northern Canada. So, when we started with that project was really at a very fundamental concept. This was the first time we were testing it or even studying its feasibility. But you can say that sometimes some projects fly too fast, and some of them you think that they might fly fast, they don't. So in this case, we were not sure if it would be, going in an accelerated manner. Fortunately, this was using the enzymes to remediate the site. So here we had an industrial partner. We started from scratch. Like scratch, I mean from test tube, we went to the 10,000 liter fermenters and the field. And within the time span of one PhD, 3 years. So 3 years, in 3 years, reaching from test tube to the field is not possible many times. But I don't say that we achieved the entirety of the bioremediation of all types of sites. So this was a specific site with a specific problem, okay? But still, even with this kind of objective, in my experience, you may sometimes get positive results and sometimes you may not. So in this particular project, we were able to remediate the site, and we achieved almost 70% efficiency on field, which is considered good on the field. Okay. And for the student, it was a good opportunity because the student was then hired by the company.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So the student works with the company as a stakeholder and then gets the job.
Yeah. And what's the most unexpected or funny moment that you have experienced in the lab? Have you ever
unexpected?
Had that?
Unexpected can be in any ways, right?
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Funny aspect.
Funny unexpected. Okay. I think funny unexpected happened, because you have seen we work with value addition, so we do a lot of fermentation with microorganisms. Like, bread is made out of fermentation. The yeast is making it rise. Likewise, we do fermentations using different microorganisms. So one of my students and myself, we were running some pilot trials. This is almost 6 years ago, and what happened, we thought everything is going well. It was a 2,000 liter fermenter. So we had taken turns to sit because it was 3 nights in continuity. So I used to tell her, I will come when you have to eat dinner from home, and I can fill those hours. And then again, I can come early in the morning and I can work there. Somehow it so happened that day both of us were tired. So she had a dinner and she dozed off on the chair. And I also went to another room and I said, I'll be back in 10 minutes, but they did not happen. Okay, we came back and we were not expecting from this fermentation then. So the fermenter started foaming and the whole foam came out and spilled on the entire floor.
Oh my God.
It took us, this project was supposed to, this fermentation was supposed to be running for 3 days. It took us 3 days to clean it up. So it was funny in one way, but it was a lesson learned
Yeah.
that
You have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let's move to the outside of the research. So outside of the research, how do you recharge? Any hobbies, favorite books, or even go to coffee order or something like this?
Well, I like nature walks,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And wherever possible, I have tried that as well. At the same time, yes, I do like reading books.
If you have time.
Yes, at some point, I used to love Robin Cook, and his science fiction stories. But I barely get time now. So I did start reading, I think, one book, which was 3 years ago. Only 10 pages done, to be honest with you. But that would be my favorite.
Yeah.
Another favorite
I see
pastime.
that.
And drinking tea with it. So,
Perfect.
yes.
Have you ever thought that if you didn't work as a prof, is there any other job that you were interested in? Or have you ever think about it? What was your alternative?
Whatever it would have been, the other alternative, I did not think about it, but it would have been certainly to be working around with people, more people oriented, not like sitting behind a bench and doing those routine kind of tasks.
Exactly.
Like even in a patent office, let's say. I couldn't be a patent officer. I don't see myself there sifting through different patents and,
Exactly.
So something which would have more interaction or contact with people.
People, yeah. Is there any kind of a sport that you're interested in or you follow?
Tennis.
Tennis?
Yes.
Are you playing tennis?
I used to. But yes, I would love anytime.
Okay.
Yes.
I see that.
Yes.
Okay. So let's move to the quick rapid fire question. Would you rather spend a day at the beach cleaning up or touring a futuristic waste to energy facility?
I think I would prefer beach cleanup because then again you interact with public, so you're actually your sort of awareness is spreading to more people because that is important part of any environmental work we do. So yes, I would prefer being on the beach.
Would you rather explain water pollution to a curious kid or help a policymaker draft new regulations?
I think I would rather teach environmental pollution to a curious kid because again, coming back to it, the kid is going to create a ripple effect.
Exactly.
In the time to come, the kid will tell other friends, parents. So society becomes connected that way. So I think that is important, and then they become the drivers for policy.
That's true. That's true.
So all the protests that we see from environmental people, that's what helps draft policies as well. But then you have to train them to understand.
Yeah, exactly.
That
way you can make the effect from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was our last question. Thank you very much, Dr. Brar.
Thank you so much, Farshad, for your valuable time as well.
Anytime, my pleasure. So if you like this video and want to have another guest on this program, please follow us on the social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, and visit our website. And let us know what would be the next question and next gesture. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.